I'd like to hear that she's done it. Okay, we have a little PowerPoint that's just an outline for me. And for the sake of the recording, since there may be somebody watching this who doesn't know who Liz Kane is, I am Liz Kane, Rotary Club of Honolulu Sunset, and I am the overall host events chair for the host organization committee for the 2020 convention. And Jim Hoban, who's also on the line, is the chair of the specific event that we're talking about now, which is Monday night host hospitality.
Aloha.
Oh, you're here.
Yes, I am.
Great.
I just unmuted myself.
Well, you were missing, it seemed, for a little while. All right, let's see if the screen works to, it's not. Hitting the button that I thought is not changing my slide.
I will mute again.
Well, I'm trying, oh, there we go. Let's see, I may be now on slide number, oh, there we go. Well, this is a little preliminary thing. You guys already know the big convention is June 6 to 10, which is Saturday through Wednesday of now not even 11 months away. Yeah, it's getting downright scary. The current estimates, the most recent thing that I heard is somewhere between 25 to 27,000 people coming to Honolulu for the convention. It could go slightly higher. I think the last I heard, there were 15,000 people that signed up during the first 5 days that got the discounted rate. I don't know what the current sign-up figures are, but we should expect a lot of people here. That's an exciting opportunity. Okay. And we're specifically here to talk about host hospitality. How many of the folks here online, how many of you have attended a host hospitality night event? Either if you're on camera, raise your hand, but I think it won't show you. I see John said he has. I have. Jim has.
I have.
Who is the I?
Roz.
Oh, Roz. Hi, Roz. Yes. Naomi has, I believe, right?
Right.
So, yeah. Have any of the rest of you attended one of these events before?
No.
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 All right.
Alani.
No. All right. I'm going to ask John.
Sure.
Why don't you describe the best host hospitality event activity that you went to and tell us what it was like. I'm just putting everybody on the spot.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
Do that, but
It was my first convention. I'd just finished being club president and went to Glasgow. So we got on this bus and they took about an hour up into the hills, and we went to this little village, and the guy that was hosting us owned the factory. This was his village. So he gave everybody a tie and some tartan and lots of Scotch whiskey, and it was just a great party with all kinds of Rotarians and all local folks. It was fun.
how many people were at that host event?
That host event was about 30 or 40. There were
Okay,
another
and-
6 or 7 in the village, but that's when we went to.
Yeah, it was that 30 or 40 altogether, including hosts and guests?
About half and half.
Okay.
Maybe a little more guests than hosts, but pretty good mix.
All right. Jim, you've been to now several of them. Would you like to share your experience of what it was like?
Sure. Are you hearing me all right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I've attended 2. I attended one in Birmingham. I'm sorry, back that up. Toronto. We went in Toronto. That was interesting. Again, it was about 60 people, a busload of people, and we were taken to a project that the clubs were working on that were sponsoring it. The actual event was held at a garden, and the garden was on a high school property. I won't go into great details about it, but their idea was to work with the students, and they're growing crops and recycling things in the area. So they basically took us to an area where they were working on a project, and they served us veggies from the project. Second one I attended was in Hamburg, and again, it was a busload of people, so it was about 60 people, and we went up to Lübeck, which is north of Hamburg. It took us about an hour or so to get there by bus. Traffic is always a problem, it seems, at these things. But nevertheless, it was a very, very interesting evening. They broke us up into smaller groups, and we went on different types of tours in Lübeck. Beth and I actually were on a group. We went on a bunch of small boats. Lübeck is an island city. It goes back to the 1100s, and it's surrounded by rivers and canals. So we went on these little boats, and we went around, and we had what they called a picnic meal, which consisted of some sandwiches, sausages, really, really good apple dessert, beer and water if we wanted it. And then after that, we got off the ship and with boats, and we did a land tour inside the city. Upon leaving that evening, our group got a goodie bag full of all sorts of things from Lübeck. Lübeck is known for marzipan, which is almond paste type thing with chocolate. So we got several different types of marzipan, magnets, book on Lübeck, really nice bunch of take-home things from Lübeck. So it was very nice, very enjoyable evening. And like I said, it was about 60 people total in the group. At both times, it was about the same, a busload of people, which was about 60 people. So it was a very interesting evening. We got back. Both times we went, we didn't get back until around 11 p.m. So they picked us up from the convention center by bus in both cases.
Yeah, but
Go ahead. You had a question?
No.
Oh.
I do.
Well,
Hi, Monica.
okay.
Hi. I didn't know you could hear me or not. So
Yeah. Anytime you're open, we can hear you, so be careful.
good.
Go ahead.
Good thing I know that now.
Yeah.
All right. Somebody did have a question.
I have a question.
And that is,
Okay.
okay, Laura, go ahead.
So you came home at 11. What time did they pick you up on the bus? That's what I want to know. The time, kind of like a time span.
Okay, the time spans were around 5 p.m. at both locations.
Okay.
That was the way they set it up because you have all these other things going on. You've got breakout sessions and stuff going on. So they kind of got to wait until most of the breakout, if not all of the breakout sessions are over with. I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work here because I know there was a lot of talk about trying to make the afternoons more free so people could do things. So we don't have all the information yet about the daytime schedules, but there may be an occasion that we could go earlier than 5 p.m. But again, that's not firm yet. As far as I know, it's not firm yet.
It's not firm.
Yeah.
Mark will be out here in August. We can talk to him then.
Yeah, well, I don't think RI has begun to decide the exact time that the breakout sessions are going to end at any given day.
I understand.
Lucky if
Yeah.
they know that by February.
Yeah, we should have a better handle on that by then. I know Mark was very specific, though, about wanting to try to let people out earlier so that rather than later, so that they could enjoy more things, family-oriented things here in Hawaii. Host Hospitality is not a family-oriented, it's a Rotary-oriented event. So it's not for the children, it's only for the adults.
Well, except, and Nalani can tell us, one of the clubs or several of them are planning a picnic at Ala Moana Park that will be available and family friendly.
Is that going to be the same cost for everybody
Yes.
involved?
Yes. We're not giving a discount
picnic?
for kids.
Right. The picnic at Ala Moana Park is with Pearl Ridge and West Honolulu.
Oh, okay.
And now Qantas Club.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's all right. Okay, back to the little PowerPoint screen, which you've all been looking at while you were listening to to Jim and John talk about their experiences with this. Host Hospitality Night has been a feature of Rotary International Conventions almost since the very beginning. And the point of it always is for the local Rotarians to show visitors a good time and to show them, you know, what our local culture is about, and as the screen says, we're showing our aloha, we're showing what Hawaii is about. In our convention, the Host Hospitality Night will be Monday, June 8th. Traditionally at Rotary conventions, the Host Hospitality Night is almost always on Monday. This year in Hamburg, it was on Tuesday for the very first time, and I heard people complain that the long-time Rotarians who'd been going to the same event at every convention for the last 40 years were all confused because they didn't even check their email that said, this year it's on Tuesday. So it will be on Monday. We're reverting to form because people need consistency. And so ours will be on Monday. As for the timing, somebody was asking that. We are generally planning that people should plan to pick up people 4 o'clock or after and have them back to their hotels by 10 o'clock. But it can start earlier or later and can end earlier or later, depending on what you guys want to do. What's involved with it, see the screen. The hosts, that is to say, we, local folks, we provide food, beverage, transportation to get from either the convention center or their hotels to the event and back. If it's within walking distance of the convention center or easy transport by city bus, like right within Waikiki, you might be able to let the transportation slide. But if it's not something people can get to really easily, and if they have to spend money to get to your thing, part of being a host to them is to provide transportation to get to the event. And the beverage doesn't need to be alcohol. You heard somebody talk about a beach picnic. That's going to be a family-friendly, alcohol-free event. Everyone I've been to has had a very well-stocked open bar. The first one I went to was in Buenos Aires, and they fed us champagne and steak and lobster, and it was, I don't know what it cost those guys to put it on, but it was way beyond the budget of any Rotary Club I know of. But the Buenos Aires Rotary Club was rich, and they wanted to show it off. And you see, visitors are going to sign up online, and we have 509 people who have signed up already. They're going to pay $35. The HOC is going to keep $5 of that $35 to help defray the cost of the HOC's expenses, including, for example, the website that is done to allow people to sign up for this. Out of that $35, $30 is going to go to the hosts, to the host club, to help defray the costs of putting this on. That's all you're going to get is $30 from us, at least $30 from each of the people who signs up. And some clubs are going to be able to live within that $30 a person budget, including transportation. Most clubs are probably going to have to subsidize it, because that's what we do, is we want to be very hospitable and to show off Hawaii, and that means that we're going to be generous to do that. We're going to be matching Rotarians with hosts, or it'll be mostly assigned at random. Although if you've seen the form asks what languages people in your club speak and that you'd be willing to host people to speak, so that we will try to match the Russian speakers, for example, with the clubs who say they have somebody who speaks Russian and is going to be there to help. Or the single person who speaks, they'll come up with some bizarre language, Mandarin Chinese as opposed to Taiwan Chinese. I'm sure we've got somebody in town who can help, who can translate, and we want to try to match people with that sort of thing. And feel free to interrupt me with questions as we go along. And most of you guys have probably heard all this before, but to the extent that you haven't, this is intended to kind of fill in the gaps or help you understand what it is we need to do and why. But feel free to jump in. Anybody with questions or comments?
Could I ask a question real quick?
Sure.
We are the Hanalei Club, the Hanalei Bay Club is teaming up with Carol Riley of the
Yeah.
Waikiki Club.
Right.
So she will keep us informed about everything that is happening and how we could help.
Carol was on the line here.
She's back. She's back.
Hi, Carol.
Hi.
Hi, Carol.
Yeah. Yeah. Monica was just asking if you were going to keep the Hanalei Club informed as to what you're planning.
Absolutely. We'll do it.
Yay,
Yeah.
Carol.
Yeah.
Liz,
Yes.
this is Glenn Bailey.
Oh, hi, Glenn.
I'm tooling down the 8-1 on my hands free. So right now, how many hospitality events have been put together, and what's the total number that can be hosted?
I don't know for sure, and I'm not sure that anybody has a good handle on it. Naomi has a spreadsheet. You want to weigh in to answer that, Jim? I mean, Naomi?
15 have said that they could do one, and we have numbers from those 15 clubs. Totals 1,099.
Okay, 1,099 people.
Yeah.
So we're over halfway there already on pre-signups.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks,
Thank
Jim. Glenn, thanks for your question, and thanks for answering it, Naomi.
I would contend that our event could be construed as a family event.
When you fill out the form, there's a box to check for family friendly. Did you fill out your form yet?
Yeah, I did.
Ah, all right.
Good.
Please, can you do me a favor and send it to Jim and to me?
No, I already sent it.
I don't
Jim should
have
have
it. Jim,
Really?
Yeah. Did you send it to Jim's old email address?
I don't know. Jim, do you have it?
I have it, but it was never put down as a family-friendly event, and I don't think we planned on it that way either.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's going to be at the yacht club in the evening, so there will be a lot of alcohol involved.
Oh,
Well, the not. Yeah.
You're breaking up. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. I'll talk to you later about it. But you have the form, right?
Yeah, we do have the forum. Again, like I said, that's a surprise to me, that family-friendly, because that was not the way we discussed it. But anyhow, we'll get on. We'll talk about that offline. That's fine.
Okay.
All right, thanks. Any other questions before I go to the next slide?
I have a question. I have questions because I'm kind of new to Rotary, so I don't know much anything about this. So, so as I understand what you said, that people sign up, coming to the convention, they sign up, they want to go to a host hospitality event.
correct.
But then they're assigned, they don't get to choose which one they want to go to. They're just
No.
assigned. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we assign it for them. We assign more or less randomly. All they know is that they get to do something. And the way it's going to work is once we assign things, people to clubs, the club who is hosting that person should send an email to the visitor, letting the visitor know what the event is going to be. If there's any dress code or anything like that, like somebody is planning to do something on a boat, and that might mean it's going to be chilly. So we provide them with information about the event and what time it's going to start and end, and find out, ask them questions like, do you have food restrictions and such? Is it going to be okay? For example, the club that's planning to do their thing on the boat out in Kapolei has said they're going to have to pick up people really early in the day. So they're going to have to ask the visitors, can you do this? Can they pick you up at 2:30 or 3 o'clock, whatever time it is? and have a conversation about what the visitor can expect and what we or you as host need to know about the visitors to make it work for your thing. You should, when you get the list, you'll get the name, you'll know what club they're with, you'll know where they're staying already, and you'll have their contact information. But it'll be up to you, the hosts, to get in touch with the people, to let them know what it is you're planning to do and when and how you're planning to get them to the event. And if it turns out that the person says, no, I'm a vegetarian, I can't do your thing, you need to let us, the committee, know so that we can assign that person back to another club. But the conversation, it'll be up to the clubs for the most part to contact the people that you get on your list and to let them know, what you're planning and how the transportation is going to be provided for. And then it's going to be pretty much up to you what you do and how you do it. We just need to be, I say we, Jim and I and Naomi and John and Dell, the rest of the executive, and Laura, the rest of the executive committee kind of generally need to know so that we can troubleshoot problems that go along the way. But for the most part, you guys are going to be given all the freedom that you can handle to do whatever kind of event works for you. And our primary goal is just to match the people who sign up with the people, with the clubs that are doing it. And you'll also be getting your $30, hopefully well before June 1st, but no earlier than March 31st, because that's the last date that somebody has to cancel without penalty, or to cancel, period, is March 31st. By that date, all the money is going to be non-refundable, so we can start releasing the funds to clubs. And if you've got 50 people that you're hosting, you'll get 50 times 30. Sounds like a lot of money, but for 50 people, it'll probably take that much money or more. Anyway, did I answer your question there?
You answered my question, but I have another question.
Okay.
Okay.
I remember it. So I'd like to hear some examples of what people, just a few what people are going to do over there. And the other thing I was thinking, if we could, the possibility of partnering with a club over there.
We encourage clubs on Oahu and neighbor island clubs to partner with one another for all kinds of really obvious reasons. So, all right, John, your club is planning something. Why don't you tell us what you're planning?
Well, we were going to go up to a rec center up on one of the ridges, about 50 people, and we decided to go to one of the members' house who can have 200 people in their backyard. So we've upgraded it now. So it's going to be in Waialaikahala for a backyard party. So getting better and better. So we're really excited about that.
How are you planning to get people there?
We'll drive.
So you're going to have enough club members to shuttle people around?
Yeah. Hey, getting from Waikiki to Kahala is, not a long ride. And maybe somebody will give us a couple of vans too. We haven't got that yet.
All right. Go ahead.
Hello, Elizabeth.
Yeah.
This is Rick Nava from Maui.
Hi, Rick.
Oh, hi, Rick.
Hello, everybody. Past President Darrell had mentioned at one time that we were thinking as well about coming up with hosting a group as well. Because of our trip to the Philippines, I believe there's like over 100 of them are coming here for the international conference. In fact, he just got back from the Philippines. So we're also thinking about doing something. I'm not sure exactly yet if he has followed it up, because at one point he wanted to see if Rotary Club of Kapolei and Eva would want to participate on that as well. Do you know anything about it? They're doing anything?
Naomi, you've got the spreadsheet.
I'm sorry. Kapolei is Pat Murphy said he was going to do a fishing boat with 4 people.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
All right, let's go on. I was going to call on Jim and Glenn to tell us about what Honolulu Sunset is planning.
Well, I was just going to jump in on that because
Rick,
it's
go ahead.
I was just going to say, one thing about this event is it's not intended for meeting with your sister clubs. It's not that it's impossible, but the idea was to get different Rotarians from different parts of the world together for these events, and then they can all appreciate the hospitality at the same time.
Oh no, it's going to be open to everybody.
Well, you have to understand, they have to first sign up for host hospitality and pay the $35. Okay? So that's the number one first thing they have to do. If you get 60 people signing up for it, and it's a whole group, there's a potential they could all go to the same place. But I'm just saying that that's not really the intent of the program, but it's possible. But number one, like I said, they have to sign up first online and pay the $35. So you understand that, okay?
I understand that part. You know, that's what I'm trying to understand is that how we go about all of this, because you know, if it's still time to set it up, or
Oh yeah.
Oh, there's plenty of time to set it up. Yeah. The thing about it is, though, you have to start planning now on venues, because you know where you're going to hold a group. If you're going to hold a group more than 10 or 12 people, you're going to have a venue that's going to be able to accommodate that number of people that you're going to get, and then of course you also have to think of the transportation of getting them from Waikiki to where your venue is, and then return them to Waikiki. So don't just assume that there's going to be.
I got all of that part, Jim. In fact, we do. Like I said, Daryl supposedly had put all of that. So my question about it is mostly how to go about it. But as far as the logistics, we may actually have all the spots already. But I will put all of that together, and then maybe I could just kind of like get it offline, send an email out so that everybody's in sync as far as what we're doing here.
Okay. There is a form that we will be asking everybody to fill out.
Okay.
And Naomi said she emailed it to everybody along with this invitation. If you didn't get it, either she or I will send it to you again.
No, I saw the email, but I didn't open it just now. So I'll look to that. Thank you.
Okay.
No, it's just that's the form that we're going to use to keep track of how many people, or specifically how many visitors each club is planning to do. And if you've already figured out a club that you can partner with, so much the better. But to get back to, I wanted either Jim or Glenn, since John told us what their clubs did. Tell us what the Honolulu Sunset Club is planning to do.
Okay, Glenn, are you on the line?
Yeah, I've got it.
Okay,
so
go.
we're gonna do our event at the Yacht Club, which is right next to the convention center. We are going to have the Magic of Hawaii. I'm going to be getting some of the best close-up magicians in the state to volunteer, hopefully, that evening to perform for table magic, so everybody that comes will get entertained. We'll also have a Hawaiian singer in the background for a little mood music during the event. And we said we would host 100 people. I need to talk with Jim about that to make sure does that include our club members, or does that include just the Rotarians that are coming? That's the only question I have.
Actually, the Waikiki Yacht Club can hold 200 people. Our thought was we could go up to 150, and that allows 50 for local Rotarians.
Oh, okay. Well, at least
But
100
anyhow,
for now.
yeah.
Let's discuss going any higher than 100, because then it becomes problematic, I think. But 100 visiting Rotarians, plus our club, and then I don't know if our clubs are going to get involved with us
The
yet or not.
actual convention doesn't start until Sunday. It's the opening ceremony.
It has nothing to do with this.
General sessions, breakout sessions don't start until Monday.
Yeah, this host hospitality night is Monday.
Monday night.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that there won't be much of a.
What? I'm sorry, I missed the point.
All right. Okay,
And,
anyway,
go ahead.
thank you.
Go ahead, Liz. Pick it up.
And is there anybody else whose club has something, your plans that are more or less finalized so you can share with the group? Because I believe it was Laura from Maui who was asking, what are people planning? Laura, was it you who asked that question?
And that's good. I got a lot of info, but I'm a little confused there at the 100 people, because if you have 100 Rotarians from around the world, and how many from the Hawaii Rotary, because you have to have some, so that that's what they want to meet the people
From
at
your
the
club,
land.
how many of your club are going to be there?
So our club, we have around 40 active members right now. So we're anticipating at least, I would say, 25 to 30 of them coming that evening to be a part of hosting. And then if we partner with another club and they want to have their members come to our event, we can do that too. So that's our initial plan on it. It gives us a little flexibility. Right now, no one has approached us about partnering. I'm always open to that if someone wants to partner with us on that event. As far as transportation, because we're right next to the convention center, we weren't planning on picking people up. We'll just let them know where it is. It's about a 5-minute walk from the convention center to the yacht club.
Yeah, but we'll need to get them home when it's over.
Yeah, we can talk about that and maybe having some people that can drive people if they need.
Yeah, and because I was considering at one point hosting people just at my apartment if the club wasn't willing to, or hadn't decided what they were going to do. I said I'll have a dozen people for dinner in my condo or even more, and my sister and I will shuttle people to get them there, and we will put them all in Ubers to send them home at the end of the night. That will be making Uber very rich that night unless we're able to get a very good deal.
Liz, since you're part of our club, are you going to then, now that you know we've got something planned, are you going to be part of what we're doing?
I'm planning to be a part. I'm planning to be a part of what you're doing, unless it turns out that the club participation in general is so low that we need to add extra events, and I'm willing to tag on that to be able to do it. But that was just something that, individual Rotarians can host people and can do that themselves if their club isn't able to or willing to. And I, leading by example, was willing to say, even if my own club didn't step up, but by now they have, but if they hadn't, I'd be willing to do something on my own. And the same thing is true of anybody else who wants to set up something because their club isn't able to do it. Individuals
Quite
can.
frankly, this me looking at this, and Jim, you can jump in any time. The $30 is going to be very minimal for what it costs to host an event in Hawaii. So the more we can leverage clubs getting together to do these events that might be able to bring some extra revenue, that's going to be great. Our club has already put in its budget for next year $1,000 just for this event to help supplement it.
Yeah. Almost all the clubs are going to have to subsidize. The $30 won't be sufficient to show the kind of party that we want to be able to do. We're the hosts, and that implies a bit of aloha and hospitality that isn't necessarily going to be inexpensive. Anyway, we encourage neighbor island clubs to join forces with Honolulu clubs or Oahu clubs, so that you guys can participate in it and help plan and put on the activity, but you don't necessarily have to organize the venue part of it or even transportation necessarily. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a quick suggestion. For the clubs that have already signed up and have events planned, can that be put out to all the other clubs that aren't doing anything and let them know the contact information of the clubs that are planning if they would like to partner?
We're expecting all clubs to participate.
But the idea, I think that's a good one. And Jim and
Louder,
Naomi and I will. Yeah.
They're going to have to do something here.
Yeah, Jim and Naomi and I will talk about that offline to figure out how best to facilitate the partnering part of it. But I think that's a good idea, Glenn. We just need to find a way to do it most efficiently.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Laura and Rick. Oh, Laura's gone. Okay. Anyway.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, Rick, you can also think of doing something on your own island too. You've got 60 people come to the Philippines. If they come the week before, you can have a great thing. We're not going to be paying for it, but you and your friends from the Philippines have a great time, and they'll be there. They've paid all the way to get there, so it makes it kind of easy to make your sister club there. Same thing for Maui. You know, I like your idea about having an event there with the cruise shop. I think that's great. It's not part of host hospitality, but it's definitely part of the convention.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for that, John. Yeah, we thought about that, but so we're communicating, and we'll keep everybody posted as to what we plan on doing. So thank you.
But anyway, use your imagination. Have fun with the Rotarians.
Yeah, what we're talking about primarily today is the Monday night activity, but John is right. There's nothing to stop you guys from, and we are encouraging you to plan activities before or after the convention. And I believe there will eventually be some way for you to advertise that, or at least have a link on the HOC's website, so that if you want to take up signups, we should be able to at least put up a list with a link to your club sign up things. And we encourage you to do it. Anybody who wants to plan something for before the convention, you're just basically going to be on your own to do it. And it isn't part of this Monday night activity, but it is important for all of us to do what we can to host and show off Hawaii to our visitors from out of town. Okay.
Hi, Liz.
Yes, Carol.
Excuse me. Yeah, this is Carol from Waikiki. I just want to just say one thing on what we're doing. And my goodness gracious, all of these big events sound absolutely wonderful. But Monica and I are actually going to have a barbecue at my condo. And I live real close to the convention center, so we're not planning on picking one up. If they need some super money, we'll pay it. But we're just going to have some Hawaiian music, some ukuleles, and just a good time with our guests.
How many visitors are you planning to host?
We're going to host 10 visitors, and 10 from my club and 10 from Monica's club, so there'll be 30 of us.
All right, thank you. And I know you filled out the form. I saw that, so thank you.
Oh, okay.
Now, I have one question. Do we have to fill out a form for 10 of our people that are going to be coming to the party at Carol's?
No, the form is just for Carol to fill out to let us know how many visitors that she's going to be hosting, or your two clubs are going to be hosting. So primarily, so we can plug in that number to add up for the number of people that we can allow to sign up for this. Because once we run out of spaces, we won't be able to let people sign up and pay money to come to it because it'll be full.
And Monica, the other thing is you're not going to pay. You don't have to pay.
But I think our guests should pay.
Well, you guys are the host. You're going to repay Carol for whatever it costs.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Hey, Carol,
Right.
sorry, I missed that. So it was 10 visitors, and then you have 20 Rotarian from our district at your party room. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, that's what Carol and I had talked about, so that's what I thought it was. One of the things is Naomi has a spreadsheet that was put together by a number of different people who called and talked to the club's representatives. either she or I at some point is going to contact you guys and ask to confirm the information that's on that spreadsheet in terms of the number of visitors that you're planning to host. And if you know what you're going to do for your activity, we kind of like to know it to be able to help to match things. For example, if there's kids, we want to send them to the picnic in the park. And there's languages that we need to know about. But the main thing that we need from you guys is to know how many people, because that's critical. People are signing up. We've got 509 people already who have signed up, and we've taken their money. So we need to know that we've got at least 500 slots that we can fill. We tentatively have 1,000 slots we can fill, so we've still got a little cushion. But again, what I plan to do is to send an email, or Naomi will, to the people whose names appear on that spreadsheet. Many of you are not on this, many of those folks are not on this call, to ask you to confirm what's on the spreadsheet. And if it's not correct, to let us know. That'll be an alternative to filling out the form, but we prefer that you fill out the form because that's Jim and my way of keeping track. So, but thanks, guys. Good question, Carol. Good question, Naomi. All right.
We also, Liz, we also want to encourage larger clubs to maybe do 2 or 3 events. So for Waikiki, is it possible to do another event with some of the other members, or Metro? So that's another idea for people to think about.
You don't need to, you're not put on the spot right now, Carol. Just saying we're encouraging.
I don't feel like I'm on the spot. I appreciate the question though, and I can sure ask my club on Wednesday if anybody else is interested.
Thanks. Thank you. Because this is, as like the very first slide said, this is an opportunity that we will never have exactly in the same way again. 25 to 30,000 people showing up, and if we get to host 100 of them up close and personal with our club, that may be the only time that we'll ever get to have that wide a range of people visiting us to be able to entertain them. So it's an opportunity. That's the best thing I can say. I know for myself, having been to several host hospitality night activities all over the world, it's been the high point of every convention that I've been to that activity. It's the meeting and talking with people from all over the world that were just kind of thrown together at random to have a good party and to get to meet our local hosts. Anyway, it can be, as you see the screen, it can be anywhere so long as it's on Oahu that you can get people to and from the convention center and Waikiki. That's the...
Hey, Liz.
Yeah?
This is Dennis Rast here in Kona.
Yeah, sure.
And one of the comments that I can relate to asking other clubs to join the host on Oahu would be that this is an opportunity to also connect with another Rotary Club in our own district. So don't want to miss that opportunity.
That's exactly right. You will get to hang out with some Oahu people or other neighbor island people that you don't see on a regular basis, and it's what great friendships are all about. It's what Rotary is all about. So thank you for that comment, Dennis, and I think that's a really good point.
This is Glenn again. I also like the idea that you're going to, and nobody gets to pick and choose who's coming to their party. You guys are going to point people to go to those parties, and then we work with them. But that opens the door to make a lot of new connections worldwide for future projects and things like that. So, trying to get a whole group to go to one party, you would never accomplish that.
Yeah. Yep. Thanks, guys. Moving to the, that's the end of the slideshow. All right, there is an FAQ, and I think I've managed to hit all of those points in the process. Oh God, now you're looking at my whole screen. I am gonna quit sharing. Uh-huh.
Oh, there we are.
Yeah. Now you just see me. Since I'm done with the PowerPoint, I'm going to look at my notes for the FAQ. I think Naomi sent this out to everybody, but if she didn't, I know it's available on the district website and the HOC website. And if anybody else doesn't have it, let me know, and I will make sure that you get a copy. You know what? I'm going to see if I can pull up that. Going to change the screen again. Let's see. Where, oh, where? Aha, there we go.
Blank screen. There we go.
Yeah, it just takes a second.
Yep.
So you guys can look at my Word document.
I have more questions.
All right. Who is the I?
I'm Laura from Maui, Rotary Club of Maui.
Hi, Laura. Okay.
So I have an idea that I'm thinking about doing. Like I said, I haven't talked to my Rotary Club yet. There's not too many people from our Rotary Club that are going to the International Convention, probably. I don't know. So we have a small club and we don't have a lot of money. So I've got to brainstorm as to a place we could do it where, you know, people can walk to. And I'm just going to run by quickly what it is. You know, and I think it would only be for a small group of people. Maybe I'm thinking about 15, but I'm not sure. And what I want to do, I'm like really into lei making, but I want to just, you know, do a little like not a lei making, it's actually headpiece because they're really easy and quick to make. And have a few people that are interested in more crafts. But what people can do with learning how to do these headpieces, they're just like, they're not leis, they're just pieces in your hair. But you can make leis, I can tell them how. But they can take it back to their countries and make it with the flowers that grow wherever they're from. And I've done this before and it's really awesome. But I need to partner with another club probably to get some, and maybe a little bit about flowers or, you know, a little bit of the culture, the whole thing with leis. So, but that's kind of what I'm thinking about doing for
Laura?
the host hospitality night.
Laura, what you're talking about sounds like it would be an interesting thing to include in somebody else's dinner event. You know, it could be a part of an other event as opposed to that in of itself wouldn't be a host hospitality event. It wouldn't qualify under the terms, you know, with a meal and all that for $35. However, you could incorporate that with what's going on in another club and partner with them. And that could be part of an evening event. You know, everybody isn't going to participate in it anyhow, you know, but it's the kind of thing which sounds like it'd be a good addition to another event.
Okay, that's good. That's good. But we can, you know, do that. I like that idea, but I mean, we can do, you know, a meal too. That it's not just one thing. But
as long as you want to do it
I like that idea too. So, okay.
No, that's I like your idea of having that as an activity, but Jim is right that you may need to work with another club to find a venue and help them do the logistics of organizing the food and the like. But you can do the lei making as part of what people do for the host hospitality night activity. Yeah, the ones that I've been to have all had really, I can't say always fancy or even professional, but they've gone out of their way to have entertainment. In the one in Buenos Aires, they had a professional dance troupe. In Copenhagen, they had a military band. But in Stratford-upon-Avon, we didn't get Shakespeare actors, but we had local singers and dancers who showed off the music of the Midlands in England and the dance that the folk dances from that. It was just basically club members, and one woman is the mayor of Stratford-upon-Avon, and she just loved to talk about that, her little small town. So that's a cultural activity like that can be the entertainment or the activity for it. And I encourage you to find another club, a club on Oahu that can do part of the planning for transportation if it's necessary, and the venue and organizing the food, and your club can organize the lei making. That's an example.
How many, this is Glenn again, how many clubs in Oahu have not put in and are not doing anything yet? Because it seems if you're trying to get all the clubs to be a part of this, that's a perfect opportunity for her club in Maui to partner with one of the clubs here that hasn't submitted anything and put together a program like that, a craft program or something.
Yeah. Again, that's what Jim and Naomi and I are going to figure out offline, to how best to reach out to try to get clubs to pair with each other and to see if we can get a response with clubs together. But thank you, Glenn. Maybe you're going to get asked to join that little subcommittee to help us do the outreach as well, because that is something that's needed.
Laura?
Yeah.
This is Carol from Waikiki.
Okay.
And you can make leis in my barbecue.
You're going to make leis.
You can make leis at my barbecue.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, I'll talk to you because, okay, I'll talk to you. Yeah. Because what I just learned, okay, because I don't know anything about this. I just learned that these are including food and they're including entertainment. So I didn't know, that was part of all the complete package. So it's good for me to know that. Okay, good.
All right. I'm scrolling through this, figuring you guys can read while the rest of us are talking. We already talked about what kind of events. Excuse me. Anything from 4 to 5 people in your house to something, a luau or a dinner cruise if you can afford it. The only limitation is what you guys can afford. It's our responsibility to make arrangements to get people to and from the venue. Timing, wanted to start no later than 5 and a shoot to return by 10, but as Jim pointed out, that he went to was later than that. I think the first one I went to was way later than that, but the others ended about 10. You get $30 from the people signed up. You'll get it sometime after April 1st, so you can have a little bit of money to help. It won't cover it all, probably. We need a contact person from your club, and most of you guys who are on this call are the contact for your club. So thank you. And we've got sign-up sheets, which Naomi has sent to you, but if you don't have or can't find, let me know and I'll email you another one. Now, once we have the names, and we've assigned them to you guys, you are going to be contacting, the clubs will be contacting your guests. And if you want friends just to come to your party, sure, but unless they sign up and they get assigned randomly to your club, you're not going to get the money from them. So you can have them come and be to help you host, which is what the local Rotarians are going to be mostly doing. Jim, I see you smiling. You're going to say something.
What? No, I just want to make sure that everybody knows that I'm trying to get you to send things to my email address. And the problem that I've had is that they go everywhere. And sometimes I get them and sometimes I don't. At the bottom of that form, it should have my email address, but I want to tell you what it is. Please, if you have a pencil, write it down. If you don't have a pencil, maybe a bloody finger or something. But anyhow, if you can write it down, it's J Hoban, J-H-O-B as in boy, A-N, J Hoban, dot rotary, and I know how you know how to spell that, at gmail.com. So jhoban.rotary@gmail.com. All of the stuff that comes into that email address, I set that up specifically for this so that we can get this kind of information to come into one place. If you have any questions about anything, please feel free to email me at that address. And I'll be happy to get, if I don't know the answer, I'll make sure I find out with it. I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. I don't want to leave anybody hanging. I know what it's like when you send out an email with a question, you don't get a response. So please, you send it to that email address and I'll be happy to respond to you right away. Okay?
All right, here I've brought up the form onto my computer screen so you guys can see it. It just asks real basic information: name, contact name, email, telephone number of members in your club, how many, most important part, number of visiting Rotarians you're willing to host, describe your activity if you know what it is, what languages are you going to do, and Jim Hoban's phone number. I'm gonna hold it for you.
Yeah, my phone number's okay.
Not phone number, email, duh, sorry.
Email. But Liz, are you getting that form up? It's not up right now.
It's up right now, it's on my screen.
It's not on my screen.
No.
Not on mine.
It
How do we
hasn't come up on our
contact you,
screens yet, Liz.
But it's on that email that Naomi
It's on
sent.
the email, yeah. It's on
But
the
I
email,
put
but
it
it's
up
not
on
on
my
the
screen,
screen.
that's interesting.
Yeah, it's not the last thing on the screen is, if you have friends in Rotary, can they be added to our group?
Interesting, all
showing right now.
right. Well, let me bring it back up again.
Yeah.
While you're doing that, Carol,
There you
what's
go,
your,
now you got it.
Got it.
Now you
I
got
just
it.
had to hit refresh, you
Now
know.
you got it. Thank
All right.
you. That's the form.
That's the form.
Yep.
Simple one-page form. I don't care if it's a Word document, so you can fill it out online or fill it out on the form and then just save it and email it. But if you want to print it and sign it, handwrite it and scan it and email it, that's fine too.
And please note that section on languages, I know our club has many different languages available in the club, but if your club has any of those languages, please check it out. So if we have visitors that speak Portuguese, we can find only Portuguese, and somebody that has or have a member that speaks Portuguese, we'll be happy to channel them to someplace that you all feel comfortable and they feel comfortable. So just please, if you have anybody that has any of those languages, please don't hesitate to check it. Thank you.
Hey, Jim, question. When's the due date for this?
Yesterday.
It's
Okay,
a rolling
okay.
deadline. Whenever you can, the sooner the better.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll shoot for Monday next week. I should have something.
Yeah, that's fine. The
Thank
way
you.
it's actually going to work is right now we've said that we can allow 1,000 people to sign up, and as we approach that number, if we don't have more than that in clubs, we may go out and ask clubs, if you haven't planned something, why don't you plan something to increase the numbers so that we can let more people sign up, because this event sells out early at every convention. It's the most popular activity at all during any of the conventions. And we want to be able to accommodate as many visitors as possible. And we don't want to tell you guys, well, if your club didn't sign up by June 1st of this year, you can't do something on June 9th of next year. No, it doesn't work that way. You can sign up whenever you come up with an idea, and you can increase your thing, because we can always go back into our website and increase the number of people that we can allow to come based on how many clubs are willing to accommodate how many guests. All right, thank you guys. Does anybody have any questions?
I have one last, I want to get Carol's phone number or email.
My phone number
Yeah.
is 808-392-5439.
5439. Okay, great. All right.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions, guys? Since we've been on the phone for.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Okay,
you.
that's great.
Thank you.
Aloha.
We'll have another one of these, but thank you Thanks very much. I'm going to hang up my, or disconnect my connection now. Thanks.
Aloha.
Thank you.
Aloha. Bye.
Well,
Leave meeting.
Jim's still on.